All right, Jason, I'm going to go to calls and a bunch of other news here in a moment. But now, just without breaking it down too much, go through some of the other subsections in the bill.
All right, I want to go through the software standardization right here. Because, again, all software will have to go through the cybersecurity panel that, again, is industrialists, globalists, nobody who's actually elected, all appointed.
That's like the SPP, North American Union. Private corporations and secret meetings set it all up.
Absolutely.
This is a corporate global government. Now they're openly saying a Bank of the World constitution running the whole planet with carbon taxes.
And for those that don't believe me, let me just read that subsection again. This is section 3, subsection 1. Shall appoint as members of that panel representatives of industry, academic, nonprofit organizations, again, that they will fund.
Okay.
Interest groups and advocacy organizations, the very special interest groups that control Congress and the Senate, and state and local governments who are qualified to provide advice and information on cybersecurity. So they'll go to the lowest levels as well, because they are also setting up regional cybersecurity.
But the biggest subsection in there is where they go down to IT companies that have 100 or more customers, and they have to put their software in and be run by the federal government. I mean, this is just totally taking over everything.
Absolutely. And then again, when the FCC takes over with their national broadband plan right here in Section 6, subsection 2, we'll all need mandatory licensing beginning in the next 3 years to be on the Internet. I wonder if they're going to allow Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv.
Well, that's what the New York Times and the White House and all of them have called for, is Internet licensing to even get online.
Absolutely. As they train your children, as they go through, and K through 12 students for participation in summer work and internship programs. Why would a kindergartner be in a summer program with the federal government? It's absolutely obscene. It's absolutely absurd. But they want the best and brightest. They want to control it top to bottom. The top, of course, being the appointed members of industry, of the banks, of the special interest groups. And then at the very bottom, the slave class children that will be trained to run this grid. And let's not forget, these aren't just...
Yeah, they're shifting the economy over where there's billions of dollars of funding a year, literally designing and engineering our economy where that's the jobs people can get. That's the scholarships they can get.
And you predicted this back in 2003 or 2002. I can't remember the video, but if you can find the Alex Jones SeaWorld video, he literally goes into the back room and starts typing on the computers and telling people that's how it's going to be. You're going to be trained. You sit at your desk and watch a computer and tattletale on people.
Well, no, they said that. That's why I knew.
Yeah.
They said the jobs will be watching each other.
Mm-hmm. And that's what this bill is about. And it's not just about the United States. International standards. And we know how the Internet is run.
Last year they hand control of the Internet domain system and address system to the UN.
Yeah, that's right. I forget what the organization is.
ICANN.
That's right, ICANN. And they threw a big fit about that, but the national media says, don't worry, just drink your mercury-laced water.
All right, hit the last points.
Again, the government is taking over the entire Internet. They're putting it under FCC and NIST control. NIST will tell you how the software can be configured. They will tell you what you can run on your computers. This is for private sector, public sector, in the smallest regions, in the smallest of towns. They're going after you. It says so in this bill. Think about that. Why would they need regional cybersecurity? Why would they need to go after organizations with less than 100 employees? Why is the critical infrastructure also privatized? Why is the FCC stepping in? Again, the Internet is the last bastion of freedom, and the FCC has ruined television, they've ruined regular radio, and they will ruin the Internet. This is it, Alex. I pray to God that this bill, A, doesn't get worse in the Senate, and B, pass the Senate. People need to wake up. Because my liberal friends sit there and they ninny and say, oh, we need cybersecurity. And it's all in the program. And we have Michael Chertoff and others on CNN with this big cybersecurity act where they literally say at one point, the National Guard is coming in for martial law. And if the governors don't like that it's under federal control, too bad. And then they laughed about it. They're like, too bad. Literally talking about...
Well, that's because the banks are coming in with their swindle takeover, and they've got to suppress free speech so they can get away with all the crimes they're committing. It's like the ATF shutting down gun shows without a law, raiding toy stores and taking their toy, not even real BB guns, and having no law and saying we don't care, spying on us without warrants. I mean, this is happening. Burmis, I'm going to move on to calls. Go ahead and finish some of the last subsections.
Let's see. I just really want to hit on this one subsection again. Section 12.
There's a bunch of other subsections.
I just want to go over this cyber scholarship program because it's so important, Alex. The director of the National Science Foundation shall establish a federal cyber scholarship for service program. And it's going to sound real nice. Your kid is going to come home with that letter and they're saying, he's a junior computer genius. We want to have him for our summer program. We want to even give you money. And then they indoctrinate your child to spy on you.
Yeah, this is Homeland Security, CIA. Go to the next one.
And let's see what we got here.
Because I read it about a month ago on air, and there's a lot of other key subsections there at the end.
They talk about giving prizes. Prizes. Remember the cash prizes for CCTV cameras in the United Kingdom? How they're going to spy on criminals and people are going to watch random CCTV cameras? It's right here. Prizes under this section may consist of federal appropriated funds and funds by the private sector for such cash prizes. So they're making it a reward
Well, that's
system.
like the IRS now paying people to spy on their neighbors and inside businesses and just make stuff up. We're turning into the total snitch society.
Absolutely, and there's a bunch of collusion in here. Basically, administering the competition regulates the competition. It will be even worse than the two giants, Microsoft and Macintosh. No one will be able to get into the game of writing software, Alex. There will be no other operating systems. And all the operating systems will be approved by the federal government. We already know there are so many backdoors in Windows Vista, the new Windows 7. We know Google is working with the NSA. Obviously, Apple is a front for intelligence with their iPhone. The iPhone, it was revealed, I believe, 6 months ago, Alex. Every time one of those boxes collapses, it takes a picture with your camera and stores it in a temporary folder that then can be accessed. And this is really all just an extension of what we saw in the 90s with Echelon and Carnivore and these other type of track, trace, and database programs that would look for keywords and then basically database you, put you into a system, try to profile you. And this is the next extension. A lot of people don't understand, under the Bush administration, outside of the warrantless wiretaps, we had them admitting that they were tracking, tracing, and databasing everything we do on a computer, from IMs to emails to talking on our cell phones.
Absolutely. Burmas, thanks for coming in with that. There's even a lot more in there, and Kurt Nimmo and Paul Watson have written articles about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you spending time with us. Okay, here's what I want to do. I want to go to Rakita, Dalton, Kelly, Tom, Ben, and many others that are patiently holding. We're taking first-time calls today. I do that every few weeks, so people that can never get in have a chance to be heard on air. 1-800-259-9231. And then I want to get into several key stacks of news that I have here in front of me that I haven't even gotten into yet. And I want to plow back through an article that I started talking about, but it's so important I'm going to get back into it. Coffee Party founder is Obama campaign operative. See, 2 months ago, we had the idea to start a coffee party to wake up the Tea Party, that they're being taken over by mainline Republicans who don't want to audit the Federal Reserve, that don't want to repeal unconstitutional gun laws, that are pro-Patriot Act and police state. But they're posing as patriots, so it'd be the Coffee Party. Well, Obama has now created one to be pro-government, pro-corrupt government. And this is another one of his initiatives to try to get all these fake community organizations out there working for him and spying on American citizens. Remember when they said report fishy neighbors or people that criticize the government to the White House? So that is coming up as well. But right now, I want to go ahead and go to some of your phone calls. Rakita in Maryland, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
I'm well.
Okay. I was just listening to your segment, and I was curious to know if you knew if the Nielsen company had any ties to the government.
Well, I mean, Nielsen gets you to put a tracker box on your cable box or television that tracks what you watch, but any digital cable box or TiVo tracks what you watch and what you do, and is two-way. Just like a computer, it is a computer. That's admitted. But I don't particularly know about Nielsen.
I was curious because I'm currently a Nielsen house, and probably about a week and a half ago, when they came by to check the box and do updates, they were wondering if they were asking me if they could put some device on my computer so they could monitor, I guess, what pages I was going to on the internet.
Yeah, well, that's already going on. They just want you to openly go along with them. Google, all the major systems, Time Warner, spy, record everything, sell it to the government. That's on record. So they're just wanting you to pay you so that they can publicly use the data.